Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the rule and the underlying legislation. The Taxpayer Assistance and Simplification Act is an important step toward a more straightforward and just tax system. I commend Chairman Rangel for his tireless leadership. Among other things, this bill will allow IRS employees to refer taxpayers needing assistance to qualified low-income taxpayer clinics, boost outreach, supporting the Earned Income Tax Credit. For so many families facing such great income insecurity during these difficult times, the EITC is a powerful initiative whose benefits reach our entire economy. In particular, I want to recognize Representative Ellsworth and highlight this bill's fair tax provision, rooted in our belief that no one should receive special privileges under our tax system. After all, what does it say about our nation and our priorities when American companies like Kellogg, Brown, and Root, by far the largest contractor in Iraq, are allowed to take their Department of Defense dollars and filter them through offshore shell companies in order to avoid paying significant Social Security and Medicare taxes? It is my understanding that there are no other contractors in Iraq who are doing this. KBR, which received a no-bid contract to rebuild Iraq's oil infrastructure and provides logistical support to the military, employs roughly 14,000 Americans in Iraq, and nearly all of them, approximately 10,500, are listed as employees of two Cayman Islands shell companies contracted by KBR solely to avoid paying payroll taxes for those workers. And that means big cost savings passed on to a Defense Department that is contracted to reimburse KBR for all its labor costs while guaranteeing a profit. A Defense Department that is more than ready to look the other way as long as the bottom line works out in its favor. Indeed, the department knew KBR was shirking its responsibilities since 2004, yet they took no action. This kind of setup may mean a smaller price tag on any particular contract, but the long-term cost of the government and the taxpayer are far greater. $846 million over 10 years, according to the Joint Committee on Taxation. And the only one who really wins in the end is the company who gets the contract thanks to its unfair competitive advantage. Mr. Speaker, these practices must end. This bill amends current law to treat foreign subsidiaries of U.S. companies under contract with the U.S. government as American employers. And it changes the degree of common ownership to 50%, ensuring that more companies owing taxes are subject to the new law and greater transparency. It is unacceptable for the Department of Defense to pay for this war by doing business with a company. Will the gentleman yield an additional minute?
I will yield the gentlewoman an additional minute.
Thank you. It is unacceptable for the Department of Defense to pay for this war by doing business with a company that siphons money from its own workers and its own government, undermining the Social Security and the Medicare trust funds in the process. When tax dodgers try to avoid their responsibility, the American taxpayer suffers. This company should not be allowed to shirk their responsibilities and then be able to reap the rewards of very large federal contracts. It is wrong, it should end, and we can no longer afford to look the other way. I yield back the balance of my time, and I thank the gentlelady.
Time has expired.